These are the Notorious Gambling Frog Golden Edition playing cards. And as you can see, this gold on this tuck box is absolutely insane. The front of the tuck box says Notorious Gambling Frog Poker playing cards. It has some artwork, the 4 suits, and says 2023 in Roman numerals. The tuck box is done on a black cardstock, has lots of gold metallic foil and embossing and debossing. One side of the tuck box says poker size and the other side says playing cards. But the bottom of the tuck box has some ad copy. The top continues the artwork, and you also get a custom tuck seal. On the large inner tuck flap you get a dragonfly. On the 2 small inner tuck flaps you get a frog and a dragonfly. And from the inside of the tuck box all the way through the entire thing you have a bunch of artwork in there as well. But if you want to know what that story is, I'm going to leave that secret for Rare Playing Cards, who's the ones that actually did the collaboration with Stockholm 17 to produce this deck. If you want to read about that, I'll leave the link to them in the description below. And no, this is not sponsored. This back design is actually insane. The back design has 2 dragonflies the same way that the first version did, which I have already done a deck review of, but this one is actually just crazy because of the fact that it has a gold metallic ink all the way around the outside as the border, and then instead of the regular yellow, you're going to have another metallic ink there as well. This entire thing is just done beautifully, and let me just give you a quick fan so you can actually see what this thing looks like. You can see the way that shines just with the light reflecting off of it. Most decks don't do that, just in case you were wondering. That's just crazy. There's a few things different about the number cards. First, which is the fact that they are shaped different. You'll see that the spades are a little bit different, which is right here. These are the pips. The indices are the thing right underneath the value, and even the values themselves are all shaped differently. Now, the placement is still going to be the same on all of them, but they are shaped a little different. The other thing that's going to be different is the order. So normally right here would be diamonds. Now this time we actually go into hearts, which comes right after spades in this case, which is definitely different as well. The other thing that difference is normally it would go ace to king, and then king to ace again. This one goes back to your ace to king. So it actually goes ace to king now through all of the clubs, and then same with diamonds. Here are your 3 aces. They are all enlarged, and just like the number cards, have a little bit of background artwork done as well. Now we're on to the court cards, which is genuinely hard to express how beautiful and intricate each one of these court cards are. I could talk all day on each one of them, so the fact that I'm actually going through it at this pace is almost slightly infuriating if I'm being honest, but honestly, he absolutely killed it with these court cards. Now onto our 4 ad cards, the first of which is going to be the one that you see when you first open up the box. Then at the other end of the deck, you'll get your first joker that has a frog fanning a deck of cards, and the other one that has a 2 of spades reveal. And of course, Stockholm 17 wouldn't be Stockholm 17 without a 17 of diamonds. And last but not least, your Notorious Gambling Frog Golden Edition Ace of Spades. Now let's see if this deck can handle as good as it looks. So Faro shuffling it from bottom to top, you can see that it fared beautifully. Every other had absolutely no issues there whatsoever. And then going from top to bottom, we'll see if it fares just as easily. And this side does definitely fare every other. It just was a little bit harder to start, but clearly every single other card was a beautiful Faro. Now we're on to the stock, finish, and feel of this deck of playing cards. The finish is going to be extremely amazing. Glides beautifully. I've had absolutely no issues with the finish, which is just the coating they put on it to make sure that it glides well, and there's been no issue with that whatsoever. Now when it comes to the stock and the feel of this deck, the stock is going to be a little bit thicker than a normal deck of bicycle playing cards, so it's going to be actually like the size of it is actually noticeably different. But the feel of it is going to be on the snappy side. So there's snappy decks and there's buttery decks. Snappy decks are more for things like ATM, which would look like this, or like backdrop, which would look like this. So those are moves that are more for snappy decks. Buttery decks are more for things like the card spring, which look like that, and then maybe under pressure, which looks like this. So they're more about malleability if it's probably about a buttery deck. Now, clearly both of those moves work beautifully. This one just has a lot more stability to the cards, so because of that, I would put it more in the snappy category. But honestly, if you're using this deck for cardistry, magic, or even just a simple poker night, it's not really going to matter because these cards handle beautifully, look beautiful, and they're simple enough to no matter what occasion you're going to be using them for, all of it's going to work just fine. And if you are wanting to pick them up for yourself, you can definitely check them out in the description below, or they'll be popping up here on the screen. That way you can check them out for yourself. Highly recommend, by the way. And if you want to check out another deck review, you can check it out right here. Pick the cards up there, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. This is CPM, signing off.